Welcome back, everyone. Here we have the Goan youth, who are the volunteers of Goa Sudarop committee in Goa. We're going to perform for you, a Goan folk dance that's called a Veerbhadra and Musal dance. Please put your hands together for them.
Tha thaiya taka thaiya 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 वीरभद्रंदा हौदो कैलास वळगे हौदो महादेवाच्या वज्रपुत्रा हौदो वीरभद्रंदा हौदो taka thaiya tha thaiya 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 taka thaiya फुडल्यान खेळ वयता मुसळाचो फाटल्यान सळ सळ तिसऱ्याचो 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 येदी येदी सामशी सामराची तातून आसाय बिण भांगराची येदी येदी सामशी सामराची तातून आसाय बिण भांगराची फुडल्यान खेळ वयता मुसळाचो फाटल्यान सळ सळ तिसऱ्याचो फुडल्यान खेळ वयता मुसळाचो फाटल्यान सळ सळ तिसऱ्याचो चल गो सुंगटा कोंगरे जाताय कालीन घातल्या सुंगट तांबडे जाताय चल गो सुंगटा कोंगरे जाताय कालीन घातल्या सुंगट तांबडे जाताय फुडल्यान खेळ वयता मुसळाचो फाटल्यान सळ सळ तिसऱ्याचो फुडल्यान खेळ वयता मुसळाचो फाटल्यान सळ सळ तिसऱ्याचो उशे वयल्या मातयेक पिकला पोये गोंयच्या साहेबान जिखला गोंये उशे वयल्या मातयेक पिकला पोये गोंयच्या साहेबान जिखला गोंये फुडल्यान खेळ वयता मुसळाचो फाटल्यान सळ सळ तिसऱ्याचो फुडल्यान खेळ वयता मुसळाचो फाटल्यान सोळ सोळ तिसऱ्याचो येदी येदी सामशी सामराची तातून आहा सायबीण भांगराची उशे वयल्या पिकला पॉय गोंयच्या सायबान जिकला पॉय फुडल्यान खेळ वयता मुसळाचो फाटल्यान सोळ सोळ तिसऱ्याचो 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 हरिहराचो खेळ खेळता खेळ दुर्गा बारशी पडिता हो खेळ दुर्गा बारशी पडिता हरिहराचो खेळ खेळता खेळ दुर्गा बारशी पडिता हो खेळ दुर्गा बारशी पडिता हरिहराचो खेळ खेळता खेळ दुर्गा बारशी पडिता हो खेळ दुर्गा बारशी पडिता फुडल्यान खेळ वयता मुसळाचो फाटल्यान सोळ सोळ तिसऱ्याचो फुडल्यान खेळ वयता मुसळाचो फाटल्यान सोळ सोळ तिसऱ्याचो बोलेले शिंदेक मुकोना माय मेल्या सुनीक दुकोना चल गो सुंगटा कोंगरे जाताय कालीन घातल्या सुंगट तांबडे जाताय उशे वयल्या मातयेक पिकला पोये गोंयच्या साहेबान जिकला गोंये जिला जिला काकणा सोय वाठारा जिला जिला काकणा सोय वाठारा फुडल्यान खेळ वयता मुसळाचो फाटल्यान सोळ सोळ तिसऱ्याचो 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 फुडल्यान खेळ वयता मुसळाचो फाटल्यान सोळ सोळ तिसऱ्याचो.
Back everyone, I hope you all enjoyed this dance performance. I'm pretty sure you all didn't understand the words, but I'm sure you all liked the graceful way that they kept dancing and kept your feet tapping some way or the other sometime. Now we begin with our main formal function, and we also have a speaker here. So, our next speaker is Advocate Albertina Almeida. And she'll be speaking on status of children in Goa. When we say status of children, we just think, what do we need to do? Or, what kind of status do we need to give children? But children are our future. They require physical and mental development. And we need to support that. And we need to understand that without these children, or without the children getting educated, or getting the respect, or not being molested, is very important. And here we have none other than Advocate Albertina Almeida to tell us about it, give us some more knowledge on it.
I would start with, what do you understand? Do you think children have a good status in Goa? We are much better off, like, like those states like Bihar, etc. Yeah? Yeah? Yes? Why do you think so? Why? Good upbringing. Okay. I think I will have to provocatively say no. Yes, because the problem that we have continuously been facing in Goa is, whenever there's a problem of any sort, I mean, I'm talking now about children, but it could be anything. It could be about women, it could be about the environment, it could be anything. The first thing that people say to us, if we go with the problem, is this must be an aberration. This is not something that really happens all the time, you know. And all this happens in these places, you know, like these Uttar Pradesh, those bayas up there, or those sokoile, means, you know, oile, and you know, we have these words for that. So we say that this doesn't happen in Goa. You know, ours is a beautiful place. We never have any problems here. Once in a way, something occasionally erupts. That is a myth, that if you actually go around, and I'm not talking of going around into some remote villages, but if you actually go around in the cities and listen to people, you will understand that this is a myth that it is time we broke. Why? Let me tell you. The first time, you know, there was this ban on prenatal sex determination tests, okay, in Maharashtra. At that time, it was not banned in India, okay? And when we were sort of, you know, trying to understand what's going on, and we didn't obviously want something like that happening in Goa. And the doctors kept saying, no, 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 I mean, you know, over here, we will never do these things, etc. The doctors that we talk to and that we meet in the course of our day-to-day lives, you know, I'm not talking of every doctor in Goa. So, so we said, fine. Then someone told us, you know, in Margao, let me tell you, and not very far from here, actually, there is a clinic where there is this couple doctors, and they are doing these tests. So I said, let's go and see, because, you know, if someone tells you this, you don't believe it. No, this was many years ago, and we went to this doctor, and then I pretended like I was the one who wanted this test. So he asked me, how many children you have? So I said, I don't have. This is going to be my first child, and I want to know, because, you know, I'm not interested in having a girl. So he says, oh, go, you know, first child, let it be. But, you know, the next time, then you come, because we do these tests. I said, yeah, you do these tests. Do you send, you know, there was this thing called amniocentesis test. So he said, okay, you can extract the fluid and send it to, I asked him, do you extract this fluid and send it to Bombay? How many days will it take? No, no, no. Now, earlier we used to do it, but now it's banned in Bombay in any case. And we had so much clientele here that we now do it in Goa. You know, I mean, although I'm right into these issues, I couldn't believe my ears, you know, because he was telling me this with the presumption that I'm really genuinely come. The only thing is, he was being ethical within his unethicality in saying that, not for the first child, let it be for the second child. Okay? So this is just to tell you. Then we had a camp somewhere in Kankan, and people were asked to speak, and then they said, you know, there were people who said, my grandmother, she reserves the egg for the son, you know, for her brother, because he's supposed to be the diva of the house, you know, the one who will take the house, this forward. The girl will go to the other house, you see. So, and she doesn't need to be tough and tagda, you know. So therefore, don't ever imagine that this doesn't happen here. Sometimes it may happen right in front of us, but we want to think that we are different. Let us take the mask out of what is happening and look at it squarely in the face. Okay, and if I'm telling you about this, you all remember the case of Freddie Peets? You know, the child sexual abuse case, the first case that was busted. Now, what happened there? I talked to one of the police officers who was interacting extensively with the students, with the children who had now become adults. Some of them had now become adults. And I also talked to two mothers of mothers of two of the children who were there. What did they say to me? One, they didn't know that this was happening. Two, if it was happening also, he brought up our children. Now I can't stand in judgment on them. Theirs was, Okay. Just to tell you in a nutshell, there was this man who was variously known as a doctor, priest. Some people knew him as Father Freddy Peets. He was a foreigner, okay, and like this generous Santa Claus, he had probably also played Santa Claus at Christmas functions also. And he had, it was found at one stage, one boy from the neighborhood. This was now a home he was running, okay? And there was a boy from the neighborhood who he would also interact with the neighborhood, talking of a stamp collection, exchange of stamps, etc., which every child, at that time, now maybe people are not so much into stamps, but at that time people were into stamps. Now they might find other means to attract children. But so this boy from the neighborhood went there and he lured him with this to start with, and then he abused him, So he went back and reported to his father, and because that boy was not from here, his father was on a career posting here, and he was going to get transferred anyway. That boy, and he was he was from a well-off family. That boy, when he reported it to his father, the father went and complained. And that was the beginning of the busting of this case. Okay, so there had been several children there, and they were local children. Don't imagine that you are talking about. I do think though that there's a serious problem when we distinguish between local children and migrant children. That's another issue. But let me tell you that the children in Freddy Pete's home a lot of them were, or if not all, were local children. And who were they? They were vulnerable children. Children whose parents could not bring them up because of financial problems. Children whose parents who came from dysfunctional families, where the father was an alcoholic, and it was difficult for the mother to bring up the child. So as I was telling you about the mothers, they said, yes, we didn't know this was happening. But even if we did we have a choice? At the end of the day, we have to be grateful to him because he brought our children up. So we need to address some very fundamental issues. Much as I was watching the dance, and let me tell you that symbolizes a dance of a feudal age. If you understand, there's this man, being carried on the palanquin. In all these setups, people are exploited, and the children face the consequences of this. In the feudal age, it used to be the landlords who used to exploit the people who work on the land, and then what was happening is that the children were also getting exploited in this whole process. And why I'm telling you why this is a matter of concern, because that is the kind of setup that paves the ground and the vulnerabilities for suppression of children and for abuse of children. I was talking to some women who were going to sell items at rave parties. Okay, they know, and they used to take their children also. So the children would drop out of school the next day. Now, when I asked these women, why do you go? Like someone's come from a fairly well-off family. I'm not rich, but I'm not poor either. So I asked them, why do you go to the rave party and sell these cakes and all that? Don't you find work elsewhere or something? So they told me this. Let me give you the equation. They said, what we earn in a month by working on the fields, what we earn in a month by working on the fields, we earn in one night by buying cake from Mapsa market and selling it in that place, in this rave party. We can't make ends meet by what we earn on the fields, by working on the fields. So then what follows afterwards, you can talk about drugs, you can be judgmental about the mothers taking the children to these parties. But let's ask ourselves, what are the conditions that drive people to these situations? Today, you have others, besides this exploitation on the fields today, which is symbolic of that feudal setup. Today you have other forms of exploitation. You have huge development projects coming up. Some people get a lot of money, and some, you know, people who get into these so-called, I mean, in inverted commas, development projects. And there are other people who are getting displaced from their day-to-day, from their dwellings, and displaced from their livelihoods. So if you look at the issue of children, we cannot look at this issue of children in isolation. This is what I want to stress very strongly. And if we start saying, okay, we'll give this person, you know, like, okay, you know, they don't have money, so we'll give them some money. Are you going to be able to give everybody money? And why do we want to create a culture of dependency? People should be not taught to, people should not be given fish, they should be taught how to fish, right? So we need to start there. Then, okay, having said that, let me tell you about some of the other contentious issues, because these are the things that we really need to work around. Wherever something comes up, whenever, let's say a development project is coming up, no government will want to tell you or say that this development project is coming up here, and, you know, we are going to displace you. No government will tell you that. So what do? They start by saying it's for the good of the place. Okay, let me tell you, I fought for the demolition of, for the raising of what is called the red light area in Baina. What did the government say? It was never about cleaning the area of prostitution, as they call it. That is the stated statement. But it was really about acquiring that land for massive development projects. So they start with this. So what happens? You say, that doesn't concern me. That doesn't concern me because it concerns those Gandhi people, in inverted commas, that's a word we use. Or it concerns these prostitutes, again in inverted commas. It doesn't concern us. Then, that project doesn't stick to that. It expands. Then it goes to another area. Then, oh, it concerns those fisher folks. I'm now talking of the Vasco belt, okay, up to Verna. So this is how it goes. And then when it comes to us, you know, there's this famous saying by Martin Niemöller. You know, when they came for the Jews, we didn't bother because of this. When they came for the, and finally when it came to me, there was nobody left to take care of me. That exactly is what is happening. Daylight robberies happen in the form of, not robberies. Daylight